Hello everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a challenge video and I came up with this myself, so I don't really know. I mean, I think I did. I didn't really search and see if anyone else was doing it, but I have never seen anyone do it. But basically, I'm going to be doing like my makeup in like rainbow order. So basically what I did was I wrote down the whole list of all the products I use, like primer, foundation, concealer, cream bronzer, cream blush, everything in order, and then I just assigned it like red, orange, yellow, green, blue. So you'll kind of see, like, catch on how it goes, but basically like primer is red, foundation's orange, concealer yellow, cream bronzer green, and I'm doing it based on like the packaging. Which, for like, honestly, finding like yellow and orange was probably like the hardest ones for me. So I did yellow is gold and then orange can be like bronze or copper, just because most packaging has that. And like I have a lot of things that are this kind of bronze color, and then obviously like things that are gold. Little sneak peek of the products I'm using. So for orange and yellow, I also did them as like gold and bronze, just because it was a little bit easier, or else I would have to skip like every single step that I have. So I guess we'll go ahead and just get started. So for my primer, that is obviously going to be red. So I have this from e.l.f. This is the Jelly Pop Dew Primer. So thankfully I had something that was red as far as primer goes. This primer, if I remember correctly, I didn't like absolutely love. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like my makeup just didn't go on it very nice, and it's like sticky and slippery, but not really in like the best way. I know a lot of people had compared this to like the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, but this one, to me, it's just like not comparable or comparable. It's different. I don't know. I feel like this one, my foundation just doesn't really cling to it, so I haven't used it that much, but we will see again today. Maybe I'm trying out with a different foundation. Which we are on to the next thing. So for foundation, we have an orange one. So I have my Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. I have the shade 30 CG, which I'm pretty sure is like way too dark. Yeah, you know, that's orange. I'm gonna look orange after I put this on, but it does have like a copper kind of cap, so I figured that this was good for orange. But I'm just gonna apply not too much of this, just because I am gonna go in with a concealer as well. And I don't wanna be like too full coverage. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be like way too dark, but it's fine. Just taking my IT Cosmetics foundation brush, I'm just going to buff in my foundation. So foundation is all buffed in. Definitely not the best color match, but hopefully once we put on all my powders and stuff, it'll help it out a little bit. Fortunately, I do not think that the concealer is going to help much, because the only one that I had that was in yellow or gold packaging in my case was the Charlotte Tilbury one, and this is actually just an under eye corrector, so it's a very like peachy orangey shade. I mean, at least it should help a little bit, because it is, yeah, actually, never mind. I was gonna say it's a little bit lighter, but I'm very pale nowadays, so even some of my lightest stuff is like basically just matching my skin tone. I need to get like a winter shade for my concealer, but this doesn't have crazy coverage just because it's a corrector, so normally like people would put a concealer sort of on top of this. I find that I don't have to, just because I don't have like the worst under eye bags, but if I'm wearing like full coverage foundation, I normally like my concealer to be a little bit more full coverage, but that's okay. I'm also gonna try and use this just to cover up that little spot that I have. So next up we have is cream bronzer, which would be green, and I do not have a cream bronzer in any green packaging, and I figured I would just skip that step because I did have a different bronzer that I could use later on, so I can skip the cream bronzer step. But then that brings us to the next one, which is cream blush in blue packaging, which I actually just realized now I also skipped that step because I did have a blush for the next one. So on to highlight, that would be purple. And I actually this time did have a purple highlight. This is the About Face Light Lock Highlight Fluid in the shade Fight or Flight. And this is in really pretty like lavender purple packaging. And I think this is Halsey's brand. This is actually really, really pretty. I used this the other day. You only need like this super tiniest bit. I got this in my Ipsy Glam Bag Plus, I think, when Halsey was like the person that was curating the box for that month. But I actually really, really like this. I was like, oh, of course, like it's her brand, so she's gonna put it in. But the formula of this is actually pretty good. It doesn't like lift my foundation underneath it or anything. And the finish that it gives is like just very dewy, and it's not like a highlight that has like a ton of glitter in it or anything like that. It's just like a very pretty, like super kind of glossy, like a glass skin look. And I personally really like that in a highlight. So I'm just gonna take tiny little dot on my nose as well. And yeah, love that. So this is really good. If you're gonna check out anything from About Face, I would definitely check out the liquid highlights. And this again is in the shade Fight or Flight, and I think it's really pretty. It's a little bit more pink toned than champagne toned, so I was also kind of like, ooh, I don't know about it, but I ended up really, really liking it, and I think it's super pretty. So next step is gonna be powder, and that one is red. But you guys are gonna kill me. I don't have red, but I think after powder, I have pretty much everything else. I'm just gonna go in with my Mcgrath powder. This is in the shade Light. My packaging has gotten destroyed. I dropped it and it like broke everywhere and my packaging looks super crusty. But this is still a really, really good powder and it's still one of my favorites. But I feel like I'm just kind of self-sabotaging if I don't use powder. So this one I did need to use and I can't really skip it. So I'm just going to powder and then I'll be right back with the next step. Powder's on and you can see even after I did a little bit of powder, you can still see that liquid highlight underneath and it still looks really pretty. The next thing is powder bronzer, which is going to be orange. So I have my bronze packaging. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. I really, really like this. I haven't used it in a little bit just because I've been using my butter bronzer a little bit more. I bought like a little sample last time when I was at like Marshall's or I think TJ Maxx, either one of those, and they had like a little sample size of the butter bronzer and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it because I used to love that bronzer. Like I panned so many of them and then I actually decluttered my big one a while back because I had the butter bronzer palette. But I used up the shade that I was able to use from the butter bronzer. The other one was a little bit too dark and I kind of missed it, and I've been using it ever since I got that little mini one. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still very pretty, but I don't know, something about the butter bronzer, it's just like a whole experience when I use it. Like, I love that thing. But that is it for my orange, aka bronze, bronzer. For powder blush, I have my Milani Luminoso in its gold yellowy packaging. This one is, again, another favorite of mine. This is so, so pretty. And if I wear this, I really don't need highlight. I'm still going to put it on. But the formula of this is so glowy. And I don't know, it's just really, really nice. I love it. The color of it is really gorgeous for if you're similar to my skin tone. They have this formula in a bunch of other different colors, so you just have to kind of pick one that works with your skin tone. But the overall formula of this is really, really nice. My blush brush and apply that. Like, look how pretty that is. And I feel like it just smooths out like my pores on my skin. I don't know, it just makes my skin look really, really like juicy and hydrated almost. Even though it's a powder, it doesn't make my skin look like powdery and cakey. Onto powder highlight, which is green. I have my Pixie highlight. This is the Glowy Gossamer Duo in Delicate Dew. This is so pretty. This was in my project pan. I suspended my project pan just because I was kind of getting like sick of using the same things. Like I wanted to order, like I was stopping myself from buying new things because I wanted to focus on my project pan. But I'm at a point where like I haven't really been purchasing much at all, and I'm kind of have like the bug right now, especially in the holiday season, seeing a bunch of like holiday kits and stuff. And also, again, just like for the new year, I might just do like a whole renewed revamp of everything. Anyways, onto the highlight. I'm just going to go ahead and mix them together. And I really don't need that much more glow. I don't really know how big of a difference this is gonna make. Oh, I mean, looking really highlighted. But I'm just going to apply this to the same spots on my cheeks, my nose. So then onto brows. Brows is blue, and unfortunately I have a loophole over here. This has like iridescent packaging and it does have blue in it. This is the Kosas Air Brow. It's just clear, so we're gonna have to rock with my natural brows with this. But at least this will get out sort of any powder that I had in my brows, and you can tell it made them look a little bit darker. Thankfully I have pretty full brows. Normally I just like to kind of define my arch a little bit more and the front of my brows. So brows are done, even though it was literally just clear gel. Then we have my setting spray, which is purple, and I did have a purple setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Pollution Protection, just the classic all nighter. Thankfully, I think they changed the packaging from like white and purple to black, and then it has like purple lid, so I guess it still would have counted, but the pollution protection one has like a completely purple bottle, so I feel really good about it. But yeah, I'm just going to do my setting spray. And for lips, we're starting back at the beginning of the rainbow. We have red. So I have this little mini Clinique, I think it's called the Almost lipstick in the shade Black Honey, but the packaging is this really nice dark red color. So this is what it looks like, the lip product. This was just a mini, and it came in a set with the with a different one. I forgot what the shade name was, but it was like a more pink one. But this one's really, really nice. It goes on sort of like a sheer, like kind of berry color. As you can see, like even though it looks super dark, it gives off a very, very sheer coverage. Lips are on. I really, really love this. I feel like it just adds so much and really like pulls it together. Even though I don't even have any eye makeup on, like I feel very complete when I have this lip product on. It's really, really nice. Now on to the next fun thing. We have orange for eyeshadow. So I have my ColourPop Animal Crossing What a Hoot eyeshadow palette. I've actually never used this on my eyes before, so this is going to be a first for me. I think I only ever used the purple one and then like the pink one from them. I don't know if I've used the green one. I'm not sure, but I haven't used this neutral one from them yet. As far as like the Animal Crossing collection goes, so I'm very excited. I'm just going to go in with obviously this first one over here, the lightest matte shade, which is called Celestial, and these ones are very, very powdery. It's kind of like a creamsicle type color. It's a lot more orange than I thought actually, but I'm just going to buff this out all over my eyelid and kind of bring it to underneath my eye. I really, really like that color. I think it's very cute. It'd be cute for like the springtime as well. So then the next one is actually really this like super dark brown color. So I'm only going to take the tiniest dot of that, and then I'm just going to stamp that on the outer corner and kind of swirl that inward just a little bit to my inner part of my eye, like kind of like just like the halfway point. So I just matched onto my other side. Then I'm going to go in with the sort of coppery shade over here. I'm just going to take that on my finger and go on this outer part right over here, kind of like the outer to middle part, and I'm just going to blend that inwards. So I just went ahead and matched up both my eyes, putting that kind of copper color on. Then since the palette doesn't really have like a lighter sort of like inner corner type shade, I'm just going to go into the more sort of like golden side of this, and I'm going to use that on this very inner part and kind of bring that into my inner corner a little bit just to brighten that area a little bit. So I feel like, I don't know, when you have sort of more dramatic eye makeup on, I feel like adding an inner corner highlight really just sort of adds a little bit of brightness to your overall look. So I really like that. So I actually really like how the eyes came out. Normally I don't do as like warm toned as this. That's why I haven't really picked up or used this palette that much, but now that I used it, I really like it, and the dark brown and like all of the colors really, really blend together like super nice. So highly, highly enjoyed that. And for the next step, we have mascara. So for my mascara, the only one that I had that had yellow on it is this MAC Magic Extension one, and this had like the word Magic Extension in yellow. And this is one of the very few mascaras that I like that is not waterproof, but I feel like it still adds a lot to my lashes because it has these sort of like fibers in it, and it really like adds just like the tips of your lashes and makes them look super long. So I like to use this in combination with stuff on its own if I don't feel like having to take off like waterproof mascara at the end of the day. But I am going to go ahead and curl my lashes and apply the mascara, and I'll be back again. Now onto the last item, we have my eyeliner, and for eyeliner that would be green. So I have my ColourPop eyeliner, and it has green packaging written on it like that, and this is in the shade The Hills, which happens to be the green shade as well. So I'm gonna see, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this on camera. Let's see, I'll kind of try, but I'm just gonna do a standard wing with this. All right, not too bad, especially for doing that on camera. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and do the other one, and then I'll come back for the outro. Okay, so my eyeliner is done on both sides. I'm actually pretty happy with how it came out. I also really like how my look ended up. I feel like the foundation color ended up being fine once I put on a little bit of bronzer on my neck. I was kind of concerned about the more orangey shadow going with the green liner, but I feel like it just works together really nicely. I had a lot of fun doing this. I don't know, let me know if you guys enjoyed watching me do more of a challenge. I think I'm going to try and incorporate like a couple more different challenges into my channel. I should be having a couple more like review videos coming up, but I am actually getting a surgery soon, so I'll be out of commission for filming for a couple weeks. I'm not sure when. I do plan on having a full video explaining what surgery I'm getting and everything like that, but I'm not sure when that'll be out because I do want to include some things from like when I'm healing. I'm getting my surgery on the 24th of November, and I'll probably be healing for like maybe like 2 weeks after that before I'll be able to kind of like get back on camera and explain everything to you guys. But that is it for today's video. Not sure again when you'll be seeing this. Probably this will go up when I'm still recovering, just because I want to pre-film a couple videos, that way it's not too long in between each upload. But I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!